I was doing everything right. So why was I still broke? I worked hard. I showed up. I stayed late. I tried to be responsible. I told myself, just keep going. One day it will click. But month after month, the same thing happened. Money came in, and then it disappeared like water through my hands. Rent, food, bills, a few small purchases I didn't even remember making. And suddenly it was the end of the month again, and I was doing that quiet math in my head, asking myself what I could delay, what I could cancel, who I could avoid so I wouldn't have to admit I was struggling. The worst part wasn't the lack of money. The worst part was the feeling that something was wrong with me. Like I was missing a secret everyone else had. I'd watch people my age traveling, upgrading their lives, starting businesses, investing, talking about financial freedom, like it was normal. And I'd sit there thinking, how? Am I lazy? Am I just bad with money? Why do I work so hard and still feel trapped? Then one day it hit me, hard. Nobody ever taught me how money works. Not in school. Not in college. Not in the books they made me memorize. They taught me how to pass exams, how to follow rules, how to be a good employee. But they never taught me how to manage income, how to build assets, how to avoid debt traps, how to protect my future. And I couldn't blame my family either, because they were never taught. They were good people. They worked hard. But hard work without money knowledge is like running fast with your eyes closed. You move, but you don't know where you're going. And that's when I saw the uncomfortable truth. The system is not designed to make you wealthy. It's designed to keep you busy. Busy enough to stay exhausted. Distracted enough to keep consuming. Insecure enough to keep comparing. Broke enough to keep saying yes to whatever job pays the bills. Because when you don't understand money, you become the perfect customer for life. Always working, always spending, always repeating. So let me be clear about what this video is, and what it's not. This is not a get-rich-overnight fantasy. This is not hustle culture. This is not about showing off cars, or pretending life is easy. This is about control. This is about learning the rules so money stops controlling you. Because once you understand the game, you stop panicking at the end of the month. You stop feeling ashamed. You stop living in survival mode. In this lesson, I'm going to share 12 brutally honest rules about money, simple, powerful principles that can change how you think, how you spend, how you save, and how you build. No shortcuts. No sugarcoating. Just a real blueprint to take your financial life back. For a long time, I thought money was the goal. I told myself, if I just earn more, everything will be fine. More money, less stress. More money, more happiness. More money, more respect. But that belief quietly ruined years of my life, because money was never the destination. Freedom was. Here's the truth most people never slow down enough to see. Money is just a tool. It's paper. It's numbers on a screen. On its own, it means nothing. Its only real purpose is what it can buy for you. Time, safety, options, peace. When you misunderstand that, you start chasing money the way a thirsty person chases salt. The harder you chase, the worse you feel. Let me show you what I mean. I've met people making over $100,000 a year who are completely trapped. Big house, nice car, expensive clothes. But behind the scenes? Debt, anxiety, 12-hour workdays. No freedom to say no. No ability to take a break. One missed paycheck away from panic. They look rich, but they live scared. And then I've met people earning $30,000 a year who sleep peacefully. Small apartment. Simple lifestyle. No luxury, no flexing. But they have savings. No debt. A plan. They know exactly where their money goes. They can take a day off without fear. They control their time, not the other way around. Tell me honestly, who is richer? That comparison changed everything for me. I finally understood that money is not about impressing people. It's about protecting yourself. It's about buying options. It's about having the power to walk away from toxic jobs, bad relationships, and constant stress. Money is not a trophy to show off. It's a shield, a key, a safety net. This is where most people fall into the biggest trap of all, flexing. We live in a world obsessed with looking rich instead of becoming rich. Social media turns life into a performance. People spend money, they don't have to impress people who don't care. New phones, new cars, new clothes, all financed, all stressful, all empty. And the price they pay is invisible. Anxiety, pressure, and permanent financial weakness. Looking rich is easy. Becoming rich takes patience. Looking rich gives you attention. Becoming rich gives you freedom. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The louder someone is about money, the less they usually have. Real wealth is quiet. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't need likes. This is the mindset shift that saved me. Money is not for ego, it's for leverage. It's there to buy time, to reduce fear, to give you choices when life hits hard. And you don't need to be rich to start learning this. In fact, the best time to learn about money is when you're broke. That's when every decision matters. That's when habits are formed. That's when small changes create massive future impact. So don't wait. Don't say, "I'll learn about money when I earn more." That sentence keeps people poor forever. Start now. Learn the rules. Change the mindset. Because once you understand money as a tool, not a goal, you stop chasing illusions and start building a life that actually feels rich. For a long time, I believed the same lie most people believe. I thought the secret to building wealth was earning more money, a higher salary, a better job, a bigger opportunity. But that belief kept me stuck, because the truth is simple and uncomfortable. Money is not the most powerful currency in your life. Time is. Time is the only thing you can't borrow, can't buy, can't replace. Once it's gone forever. And this is where most people lose the money game before it even starts. They say, "I'll start saving later. I'll learn about money when I earn more. I'll invest when I'm older." What they don't realize is that waiting is the most expensive decision you can make. Think of money like a seed. If you plant it early, even a small seed, and give it time, it grows into a tree. That tree produces fruit. The fruit creates more seeds. And those seeds grow into more trees. That's compound growth. But if you wait too long to plant the seed, it doesn't matter how big the seed is. You've already lost the most important ingredient, time. I learned this the hard way. I used to think, what's the point of saving small amounts? It's nothing. But that mindset was costing me years. Because wealth is not built by one big move. It's built by small, boring decisions repeated consistently over time. This brings me to the second part of the formula. Control. Most people don't control their money. They wonder where it went. They work hard all month, get paid, and somehow feel stressed again by the end of it. Not because they're careless, but because they were never taught to tell their money where to go. If you don't control your money, it will control you. Your bills will decide your life. Your fear will decide your choices. Your lack of savings will decide which risks you can't take. That's why budgeting changed everything for me. I used to think budgeting was restrictive, like punishment. But I realized budgeting is not about saying no to life. It's about saying yes with confidence. When I started planning my money, even when I had very little, I felt something new, power. Every dollar had a job. Every decision was intentional. I stopped guessing. I stopped panicking. And here is the rule that changed everything. Spend less than you earn. Always. It sounds simple, almost too simple. But it is the foundation of every financially free person on earth. If you don't keep money, you can't grow money. If you can't grow money, you'll work forever. It doesn't matter how much you earn. What matters is how much you control. And this leads to the final piece, discipline. Not motivation, discipline. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. Discipline is saving when it's boring. Tracking expenses when no one is watching. Saying no now so you can say yes later. When you combine time, control, and discipline, something powerful happens. You stop surviving. You start building. And once you control your money, you begin to control your life. Because financial freedom doesn't start with a big paycheck. It starts with small decisions made consistently. Control the money. Respect time. Practice discipline. That's the real wealth formula. At some point, I had to face a painful truth. I wasn't broke because I didn't earn enough. I was broke because I kept falling into the same traps. Traps that look normal, even smart, but quietly destroy your future. The first trap is bad debt. Bad debt is not just borrowing money. Bad debt is selling your future to pay for your present. Credit cards, buy now, pay later. Loans for phones, clothes, vacations, lifestyle upgrades. They all feel harmless in the moment. You tell yourself, I deserve this, or I'll pay it back later. But later always costs more. Interest turns small decisions into long-term stress. And suddenly, You're working not for your dreams, but to pay off your past. This is where most people get confused. Not all debt is evil, but most people only use the dangerous kind. Bad debt takes money out of your pocket and gives nothing back. Good debt, on the other hand, is used to build assets, things that generate income or grow in value over time. Buying a luxury phone on credit is bad debt. Borrowing to start a business that earns profit can be good debt. Financing a car you don't need is bad debt. Using leverage to buy an income-producing asset can be good debt. The difference is simple. Does this debt make you richer or poorer over time? If it feeds your ego but empties your future, it's a trap. The second trap is lifestyle inflation. This one is subtle and deadly. You get a raise, and instead of becoming more stable, you immediately upgrade your life. Better apartment, better car, better clothes, more eating out. From the outside, it looks like progress. Inside, nothing changes. You're still stressed. You're still paycheck to paycheck. You're just broke at a higher level. This is why many people earning good money are still financially weak. They don't increase their freedom when income goes up, they increase their expenses. And freedom never arrives. Real wealth is not built by earning more and spending more. It's built by earning more and keeping more. If every raise disappears into lifestyle upgrades, you'll run forever and never move forward. The third trap is noise. Noise is flexing. Noise is showing. Noise is talking too much about money, success, plans, and wins. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Money grows in silence, and noise kills wealth. When you flex, you spend faster. When you show off, you feel pressure to maintain an image. When you chase approval, you make expensive decisions to impress people who don't matter. The wealthiest people I've met didn't look rich. They dressed simply. They drove normal cars. They lived quietly. And behind that simplicity was security, freedom, and peace. Meanwhile, the loudest people were often the most fragile financially, trapped in debt, anxiety, and performance. And this is the final truth of this part. Real wealth doesn't need to announce itself. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't need applause. Because when you're truly rich, you don't need to look rich. You just need to be free. There was a moment when I realized something that completely changed how I saw work and money. If you only earn with your time, you're not free. You're just renting your life to someone else. Think about it honestly. When your income depends entirely on your hours, what happens if you stop working? The money stops. If you get sick, tired, burned out, or replaced, your entire life pauses. That's not freedom. That's dependency. This is why understanding assets is everything. An asset is anything that puts money into your pocket without you being there every second. A job pays you when you show up. An asset pays you even when you don't. Investments, dividend stocks, rental income, digital products, businesses, and high-value skills that can be sold again and again. These are how people escape the time for money trap. Most people never build assets because they were never taught to. They're taught to work harder, get promoted, and hope that one paycheck will somehow be enough. But hope is not a strategy. Here's a rule that changed my mindset forever. 1 income is risky. 2 incomes is survival. 3 incomes is stability. 4 or more incomes is freedom. When you have only 1 income, one problem can destroy everything. A job loss, a company shutdown, a health issue. But when you build multiple income streams, something powerful happens. Fear disappears. You stop living in panic. You start making decisions from strength instead of desperation. Let me give you a real example. Someone works a full-time job. That's income stream number 1. On the side, they develop a skill, writing, design, video editing, teaching, coding, language tutoring. That skill becomes income stream number 2. Then they take part of that money and invest it slowly, stocks, funds, or long-term assets. That's income stream number 3. Later, they create something once and sell it many times. A course, a digital product, consulting, content. That's income stream number 4. None of these start big. None of them are easy at first. But together, they create an income system, not just income. And this is the key difference. Poor and middle-class thinking is built around a paycheck. Wealth thinking is built around systems. A paycheck stops when you stop. A system keeps working even when you rest. This doesn't mean quitting your job tomorrow. It means using your job as fuel, not as your final destination. Use it to learn, to save, to invest, and to build something that lasts longer than your energy. Here's the mistake many people make. They wait until they earn more to start building assets. But the habit of building doesn't start with big money. It starts with small consistency. Even $50 invested regularly matters. Even 1 hour a day learning a skill matters. Even one small side project matters. Because freedom is not built in one big move. It's built quietly, brick by brick. And this is the truth most people never hear. Your goal is not to get rich fast. Your goal is to stop being fragile. When your income comes from different places, your life becomes harder to break. You stop begging for security. You start creating it. So don't ask, how can I earn more money? Ask, how can I build an income system that works with me, not against me? Because the day your money starts working for you is the day your life starts moving forward without fear. At the end of everything you've just heard, there is one final enemy you must face. Not the economy, not inflation, not your salary, not your background. The final boss is your beliefs about money. Most people don't stay broke because they lack opportunity. They stay broke because they were programmed that way long before they had a choice. Think back to your childhood for a moment. What did you hear about money? Money is evil. Rich people are greedy. People like us don't get rich. Be thankful for what you have. Don't dream too big. Those sentences may have sounded harmless at the time, but they slowly became rules inside your mind. And here is the truth most people never realize. Beliefs create behavior. Behavior creates results. If you believe money is bad, you'll push it away. If you believe wealth isn't for you, you'll sabotage opportunities. If you believe you're not good with money, you'll avoid learning. Then you'll look at your results and think the world is unfair. But the world isn't unfair. It is responding exactly to how you think and how you act. Money does not reward wishes. It rewards understanding. That's why changing tactics without changing beliefs never works. You can budget, invest, and work hard, yet still stay stuck if deep down you believe you don't deserve more. This is where the real work begins. Not outside, but inside. You must reprogram your relationship with money the same way you would relearn a language. Slowly, consciously, and with repetition. And it starts with what you say to yourself. Here are 5 lines I want you to hear and repeat until they feel normal. I am worthy of financial freedom. I am learning how money works. I am building systems, not chasing luck. I am breaking the cycle that trapped my family. I use money as a tool, not as a master. At first, these words may feel uncomfortable. That discomfort is a good sign. It means you're challenging old programming that no longer serves you. This is not about greed. This is not about becoming someone you're not. This is about becoming someone who understands. Because when you fix your beliefs, your actions change. When your actions change, your habits change. And when your habits change, your future changes, quietly, but permanently. This is not a motivational moment. This is a personal revolution. And every revolution starts with awareness. From today, you are no longer confused about money. You are no longer afraid to learn. You are no longer repeating a life that was never chosen by you. Rewatch this. Apply it slowly. Build patiently. And if you're ready for a long journey, not hype, not shortcuts, but real understanding, subscribe and walk this path with me. Because wealth is not loud. Freedom is not instant. And transformation doesn't happen overnight. But it always begins with one decision. And that decision starts today.